Welcome to Maine, the pine tree state. Here, rugged coastlines meet dense pine forests, and every sunrise over the Atlantic feels like a fresh start. Maine's charm is found in its historic towns, tranquil lakes, and majestic mountains. Whether you seek adventure or peace, Maine offers both in abundance. From Acadia's shores to Mount Katahdin's peak, this is a place where nature and culture intertwine. Let's begin our unforgettable journey through Maine. In the next few minutes, immerse yourself in Maine's story. Experience 4 vibrant seasons, iconic lighthouses, and endless forests. Maine's vast landscapes and rich history create a unique blend of adventure and tradition. From Native American roots to maritime legends, every corner has a tale. Discover why Maine's wild beauty and small-town warmth capture so many hearts. Let's set out to explore this New England gem. To understand Maine, look to America's northeastern edge. Bordered by Canada and the Atlantic, Maine greets the nation's first sunrise. Its rugged coastline and wild forests have shaped a culture of resilience and independence. Maine's history is a tapestry of maritime trade, colonial rivalry, and natural bounty. Today, its remote beauty offers a true escape from the everyday. Crossing into Maine, you know you've reached somewhere extraordinary. Maine is New England's largest state, yet among the least populated. Over 90% forested, it's a sanctuary for wildlife and solitude seekers. Small towns and vast wilderness define its character, peaceful, independent, and deeply connected to nature. Here, star-filled skies and quiet roads invite reflection and adventure. The space and silence are luxuries that draw visitors year after year. In Maine, solitude means harmony with a grand landscape. Maine's magic lies in its wild nature, rich history, and small-town charm. Hike granite peaks, explore historic villages, and savor the iconic lobster. The rocky coast lighthouses and endless woods shape daily life and spirit. Every town tells a story, from Native American heritage to maritime tradition. Lobster isn't just a meal, it's a symbol of Maine's hardworking, welcoming culture. This is Maine, a blend of adventure history and authentic hospitality. Long before the first European sails appeared on the horizon, the land we now call Maine was home to a thriving and sophisticated network of indigenous peoples. For thousands of years, these communities lived in a deep, symbiotic relationship with the region's dense forests, winding rivers, and bountiful coastline. They are collectively known as the Wabanaki, which translates to People of the Dawnland, a fitting name for those who witnessed the continent's first sunrise each day. The Wabanaki Confederacy consists of several distinct but related tribal nations, including the Penobscot, Passamaquoddy, Maliseet, and Mi'kmaq. Their presence is the foundational chapter of Maine's human story, a legacy of resilience, adaptation, and profound spiritual connection to the earth that continues to this day. The Wabanaki way of life was intricately tied to the rhythm of the seasons. They were skilled hunters, fishers, and foragers who moved with the cycles of nature to sustain their communities. In the warmer months, families would gather along the coast and major rivers, harvesting fish, seals, and shellfish from the rich Atlantic waters. They cultivated crops like corn, beans, and squash in fertile river valleys. As winter approached, they would move inland to smaller, more sheltered camps in the deep woods, where they hunted moose, deer, and other game. This seasonal migration was not aimless wandering, it was a highly organized and sustainable system, built on generations of ecological knowledge and a respect for the balance of the natural world. Their culture was rich with artistry, storytelling, and complex social structures. The Wabanaki were master craftspeople, renowned for their elegant and highly functional birch bark canoes, which were lightweight, durable, and perfectly suited for navigating Maine's thousands of lakes and streams. They created intricate baskets from ash wood and sweetgrass, not only as practical tools but also as beautiful works of art that carried cultural symbols and stories. Oral tradition was paramount, with elders passing down creation stories, histories, and moral lessons that guided the community and reinforced their connection to their ancestors and the world around them. Their governance was based on consensus and diplomacy, with chiefs leading by example and influence rather than by force. Today, the Wabanaki tribes remain a vital and active part of Maine's cultural fabric. The Penobscot Nation on Indian Island, the Passamaquoddy tribe at Sipayik and Motacomicook, the Holton Band of Maliseet Indians, and the Aroostook Band of Micmacs continue to uphold their traditions while navigating the challenges of the modern world. They are fighting to protect their ancestral lands and waters, revitalize their languages, and ensure their sovereign rights are respected. Their story is not just a relic of the past, it is a living, breathing testament to endurance and cultural survival. To understand Maine, one must first acknowledge and honor the deep, ancient roots of the people of the Dawnland. The dawn of the 17th century brought a dramatic and irreversible change to the Dawnland. Tall ships carrying European explorers began to appear along the Maine coast, heralding a new era of contact, trade, and ultimately, conflict. The French, led by explorers like Samuel de Champlain, were among the first to map the coastline and establish tentative settlements, seeking to expand their fur trading empire in New France. They were soon followed by the English, who were drawn by the immense wealth of timber for shipbuilding and the seemingly inexhaustible supply of codfish in the offshore banks. These initial encounters were often a mix of curiosity and commerce, as the Wabanaki traded valuable furs for European goods like metal tools, cloth, and firearms. However, these early interactions quickly grew complicated and fraught with tension. The French and English brought with them not only new technologies, but also competing ambitions for the land itself. They saw Maine not as a shared home, but as a territory to be claimed and controlled for their respective crowns. This rivalry played out over more than a century, with Maine becoming a contested borderland between French Acadia to the north and the English colonies of New England to the south. The Wabanaki were inevitably drawn into these imperial struggles, often allying with the French, who generally had more respectful and reciprocal relationships with them compared to the land-hungry English settlers. The consequences for the Wabanaki were devastating. The Europeans unknowingly carried diseases like smallpox and measles, to which the indigenous population had no immunity. These epidemics swept through their communities, wiping out an estimated 75 to 90% of their population in a tragically short period. This catastrophic loss of life shattered their social structures and weakened their ability to resist the encroachment of European settlement. As English fishing villages and trading posts grew into permanent towns, conflicts over land use and resources became more frequent and violent, leading to a series of brutal wars that further decimated the Wabanaki and pushed them from their ancestral homes along the coast. Despite the immense pressure, the Wabanaki people fiercely resisted European domination for generations. They fought to defend their territory, their culture, and their way of life in a series of conflicts often referred to as the French and Indian Wars. These were not simple battles, but a long, painful struggle for survival against overwhelming odds. The arrival of the newcomers had irrevocably altered their world, introducing new economies, new technologies, and devastating new diseases. The early history of European settlement in Maine is therefore a complex story of exploration and opportunity, but it is also one of profound loss, violent conflict, and the beginning of a long fight for justice by Maine's first peoples. For over 150 years, the territory of Maine was not an independent entity, but was governed as a part of the Massachusetts Bay Colony, and later, the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Known simply as the District of Maine, it was a rugged, sparsely populated frontier, distinct in its geography and character from the more developed areas around Boston. The people of Maine, loggers, shipbuilders, farmers, and fishermen, developed a strong sense of regional identity, feeling that their interests were often overlooked by the lawmakers in Boston, who were distant both physically and culturally. This growing sentiment of being a separate and distinct people planted the seeds for a long-running independence movement that would span several decades. The call for statehood gained significant momentum following the American Revolution and the War of 1812. During the latter conflict, British forces occupied a large portion of eastern Maine, and the Massachusetts government was widely criticized for its slow and inadequate response in defending the district. This perceived neglect reinforced the belief among Mainers that they needed their own government to protect their own interests. Throughout the early 1800s, conventions were held, and multiple votes were taken on the question of separation. While support grew steadily, the movement faced opposition from powerful coastal merchants who benefited from the existing trade arrangements with Massachusetts. The final push for statehood became entangled in a much larger national debate over the issue of slavery. At the time, the United States was precariously balanced with an equal number of free states and slave states. In 1819, the Missouri Territory applied for admission to the Union as a slave state, which threatened to upset this delicate balance of power in the U.S. Senate. This political crisis provided a unique opportunity for Maine. In a brilliant stroke of political maneuvering led by Speaker of the House Henry Clay, a solution was crafted: the Missouri Compromise. This landmark legislation proposed admitting Maine as a free state to offset the admission of Missouri as a slave state. On March 15, 1820, after years of debate and political negotiation, Maine was officially admitted to the Union as the 23rd state. This was a pivotal moment in both Maine's and the nation's history. It not only granted Maine the self-governance its people had long desired, but also temporarily resolved the escalating sectional tensions over slavery, postponing the inevitable conflict that would later erupt into the Civil War. For Maine, statehood was the culmination of a long journey from a remote district to a proud and independent state, finally free to chart its own course and forge its own destiny as a vital part of the young American Republic. The 19th century was an era of explosive growth for the new state of Maine, a time when its vast natural resources fueled a powerful economic engine that shaped its towns and its identity. Two industries, above all others, defined this period: shipbuilding and logging. Maine's immense forests, filled with towering white pines, provided the perfect material for the masts of the world's sailing ships. Its jagged coastline, with countless deep-water harbors, offered ideal locations for shipyards. From Kittery to Eastport, the coast buzzed with the sounds of saws and hammers as skilled craftsmen built everything from small fishing schooners to massive, full-rigged clipper ships that sailed to every corner of the globe, carrying cargo and prestige. The logging industry, or the sawdust part of the equation, was the essential partner to shipbuilding. Hardy lumberjacks, known as river hogs, spent harsh winters in remote logging camps deep in the northern woods. They felled giant trees and when the spring thaw came, drove the massive logs down Maine's powerful rivers, the Penobscot, the Kennebec, and the Androscoggin, to the sawmills waiting at the coast. This was dangerous, demanding work that required incredible strength and courage. The city of Bangor, situated on the Penobscot River, became the undisputed lumber capital of the world for a time, with its port so choked with logs and ships that it was said you could walk across the harbor on their decks. This symbiotic relationship between forest and sea created immense wealth and spurred rapid development. Towns like Bath, known as the City of Ships, earned a global reputation for the quality and durability of their vessels. The wealth generated from these industries built the stately mansions of sea captains and lumber barons that still stand today, testaments to an age of prosperity and ambition. The economy was not limited to just wood and ships. Ice harvesting also became a major industry, with blocks of clean, clear ice cut from Maine's frozen lakes and shipped to cities as far away as India, providing a primitive but effective form of refrigeration for the world. This period cemented Maine's reputation as a place of hard work, ingenuity, and a profound connection to its natural landscape. The state's economy was literally carved from its forests and launched from its shores. The skills passed down through generations of shipwrights and lumbermen created a culture of self-reliance and craftsmanship that remains a point of pride. The age of sail and sawdust was a foundational era, transforming Maine from a rugged frontier into an industrial powerhouse and setting the stage for the modern state we know today. It was a time when Maine's resources helped build America and connect it to the wider world. When the nation fractured and the Civil War erupted in 1861, Maine's commitment to the Union was immediate and unwavering. Having entered the United States as a free state under the Missouri Compromise, Maine was staunchly anti-slavery. Its people viewed the preservation of the Union and the abolition of slavery as profound moral imperatives. This deeply held conviction translated into an extraordinary level of participation in the war effort. From its small towns and coastal villages, thousands of men answered President Lincoln's call to arms, driven by a powerful sense of duty and principle. The state's response was not just a matter of policy, it was a personal and passionate defense of the ideals upon which it was founded. Maine's contribution to the Union cause was disproportionately large and deeply impactful. The state sent more soldiers per capita to fight in the Civil War than any other state in the Union. Over 70,000 Maine men served in the Army and Navy, participating in nearly every major battle of the war, from the First Battle of Bull Run to the final surrender at Appomattox. One of the most famous and heroic actions involved the 20th Maine Infantry Regiment, commanded by a college professor from Brunswick named Joshua Lawrence Chamberlain. His courageous defense of Little Round Top at the Battle of Gettysburg is legendary, a pivotal moment that helped turn the tide of the war in the Union's favor. Back home, the entire state mobilized to support the war effort. Women played a crucial role, forming aid societies to knit socks, roll bandages, and send supplies to the soldiers at the front. They managed farms and businesses in the absence of their husbands, sons, and brothers, keeping the state's economy running under difficult circumstances. Maine's shipyards, already economic powerhouses, went into overdrive, building naval vessels for the Union blockade of southern ports. The state's foundries produced cannons and munitions, further demonstrating a total commitment to victory. The war was a collective effort that touched every single community and every family across the state. The cost of this commitment was immense. Nearly 10,000 of Maine's soldiers never returned home, succumbing to battle wounds or disease. Their sacrifice is memorialized in town squares and cemeteries throughout the state, a permanent and somber reminder of the price of freedom and unity. The Civil War was a defining chapter in Maine's history, a period that tested its resolve and forged its character in the crucible of conflict. The state's profound contribution not only helped to preserve the nation, but also solidified its identity as a place of fierce principle and unshakable loyalty. As the age of wooden ships began to wane in the late 19th century, a new industrial revolution was taking hold in Maine's interior, powered by the same rivers that had once driven logs to the sea. This time, the river's immense power was harnessed to turn the turbines of massive mills, giving rise to new industries that would transform the state's economy and landscape. The production of textiles and paper became the new engines of growth. Cities like Lewiston, Biddeford, and Saco, situated along powerful waterfalls, became bustling centers of textile manufacturing, with enormous brick mill complexes dominating their skylines. These mills produced millions of yards of cotton and woolen cloth, supplying markets across the country. The paper industry took root further north, in towns like Millinocket, Rumford, and Jay, closer to the vast spruce and fir forests that provided the necessary pulpwood. The invention of a process to make paper from wood pulp created a voracious demand, and Maine's forests were ready to supply it. Enormous paper mills were constructed, becoming the economic heart of these new communities. These mills were marvels of industrial engineering, employing thousands of workers and creating entire towns from scratch. For much of the 20th century, the sound of the mill whistle was the rhythm of daily life for a significant portion of Maine's population, signaling the start and end of shifts. This industrial boom spurred significant social change, most notably by attracting waves of immigrants seeking work and a better life. French Canadians from nearby Quebec poured across the border to work in the textile mills of Lewiston and Biddeford, creating vibrant Franco-American communities that have profoundly shaped Maine's cultural identity. Their language, traditions, and Catholic faith added a rich new layer to the state's predominantly English Protestant heritage. These mill towns became melting pots, where different cultures lived and worked side by side, building new lives around the shared experience of industrial labor. The legacy of these communities is still strongly felt today in the food, festivals, and family names of these regions. While the mills provided jobs and prosperity for generations, they also came with challenges. The work was often grueling and dangerous, and the industrial processes took a heavy toll on the environment, polluting the very rivers that powered the machines. By the late 20th century, global competition and changing economies led to the decline of these industries, and many of the great mills fell silent, creating economic hardship for the towns that depended on them. Today, many of these historic mill buildings are being repurposed and revitalized, finding new life as apartments, offices, and restaurants, symbols of Maine's resilience and its ability to adapt and reinvent itself for a new era. While industry was reshaping Maine's interior, another quieter transformation was taking place along its beautiful coast. By the late 1800s, the rise of the railroad and the increasing prosperity of America's urban centers created a new phenomenon, the summer vacation. City dwellers from Boston, New York, and Philadelphia, seeking an escape from the heat, grime, and congestion of industrial life, began looking northward. They were drawn by romanticized depictions of Maine's pristine natural beauty, its cool ocean breezes, tranquil lakes, and fragrant pine forests. This marked the beginning of Maine's tourism industry, an industry that would eventually become one of its most important and enduring. Wealthy families, often referred to as rusticators, were the pioneers of this new trend. They were not looking for luxury in the modern sense, but for an authentic, rustic experience that would bring them closer to nature. They would travel by train and then by steamboat to reach remote coastal islands and seaside villages. They stayed in simple farmhouses or grand wooden hotels that were built specifically to cater to them. Places like Bar Harbor on Mount Desert Island became fashionable summer colonies for the nation's elite, including families like the Rockefellers, Fords, and Vanderbilts, who built magnificent cottages that were, in reality, sprawling mansions with stunning ocean views. The state actively promoted this new identity. Recognizing the economic potential, railroads published glossy brochures filled with beautiful illustrations and poetic descriptions of Maine's charms. The state officially adopted the nickname Vacation Land in the 1930s, placing it on its license plates and cementing its reputation as a premier destination for leisure and recreation. This was a deliberate shift, marketing the very things that made Maine unique: its scenery, its quiet pace of life, and its sense of being a world away, as valuable commodities. The love affair between these summer visitors and the state of Maine grew stronger with each passing year. This early wave of tourism laid the foundation for the vibrant industry that exists today. It established the tradition of the Maine summer getaway, a ritual passed down through generations of families. The legacy of the rusticators can be seen in the preservation of vast tracts of land, most notably Acadia National Park, which was created through the foresight and philanthropy of these wealthy summer residents. The rise of tourism created a new economic path for Maine, one based not on extracting resources from the land, but on celebrating and conserving its natural beauty. This love for Maine, born over a century ago, still runs strong today, welcoming millions to experience its magic. When we speak of Maine's natural wonders, one place stands above all others in the hearts and minds of visitors: Acadia National Park. This is a realm of unparalleled beauty, a masterpiece where the ocean and mountains collide in a spectacular display of nature's power and grace. Located primarily on Mount Desert Island, Acadia is a treasure of the United States National Park System and one of its most visited parks. What makes it so unique is its incredible diversity of landscapes packed into a relatively small area. Here you can find rugged pink granite peaks, deep evergreen forests, pristine freshwater lakes, and a dramatic wave-battered coastline. It is a place that truly has something for everyone, a wonderland for the senses. The park's centerpiece is Cadillac Mountain, the highest point on the North Atlantic seaboard. Standing at 1,530 feet, it offers panoramic views that are simply unforgettable. For much of the year, from early October to early March, its summit is the very first place in the United States to be touched by the morning sun. Making the pre-dawn journey to the top to witness this spectacle is a cherished ritual for thousands of visitors each year. As the sun breaks over the horizon, it casts a warm, golden glow across the Porcupine Islands in Frenchman Bay, illuminating the landscape in a moment of pure magic. It is an experience that connects you to the grand rhythm of the cosmos. Beyond Cadillac Mountain, Acadia offers a wealth of opportunities for exploration. The park is crisscrossed by a network of over 150 miles of hiking trails, ranging from easy coastal walks to strenuous iron-rung climbs up sheer cliff faces. One of the most beloved features is the 45 miles of historic carriage roads, a gift from philanthropist John D. Rockefeller Jr. These gravel roads, free of motor vehicles, wind gracefully through the heart of the park, over stunning stone bridges and alongside beautiful ponds. They are perfect for walking, biking, or even taking a horse-drawn carriage ride, offering a peaceful way to immerse yourself in the park's serene interior. The park's coastline is just as captivating as its mountains. The 27-mile Park Loop Road offers breathtaking vistas at every turn, from the thundering surf at Thunderhole to the calm, protected waters of Sand Beach, a rare sandy oasis on this rocky coast. You can explore tide pools teeming with life, watch sailboats glide across the bay, or simply sit on a granite ledge and listen to the eternal conversation between the land and the sea. Acadia National Park is more than just a place to see, it is a place to feel. It is where the raw power of the Atlantic meets the steadfast strength of ancient mountains, creating a landscape that inspires awe and rejuvenation. If there is one image that really symbolizes the spirit of Maine, it's that of a solitary lighthouse standing firm against the elements. These historic beacons are more than just navigational aids. They are monuments to Maine's deep maritime heritage, as well as the resilience of its coastal communities. Dotted along the state's rugged coastline are more than 60 of these iconic structures, and honestly, each has its own unique story and character. For centuries, they've guided sailors safely home through storms and fog, with their steady beams cutting through the darkness. To visit them is to connect with the state's profound and enduring relationship with the sea, a history filled with tales of courage, isolation, and unwavering duty. Among all of Maine's lighthouses, one stands as the undisputed Star Portland Headlight. Commissioned by President George Washington and first lit in 1791, it's one of the oldest and most photographed lighthouses in the entire United States. Perched on a rocky headland at the entrance to Portland Harbor in Cape Elizabeth, its white conical tower and classic keeper's house create a scene of timeless, picturesque beauty. The waves of the Atlantic crash dramatically against the cliffs below, sending plumes of spray into the air. It's a sight that captures both the raw power of the ocean and the steadfast human spirit that dares to live right alongside it. Visiting Portland Headlight is, honestly, an essential Maine experience. The surrounding grounds, now Fort Williams Park, offer spectacular vantage points for photographers and sightseers alike. You can walk along the cliffside paths, explore the old military fortifications, and just marvel at the view that has captivated artists and travelers for generations. The former keeper's quarters now house a small museum where you can learn about the history of the lighthouse and the lives of the keepers who maintained its life-saving light through peace and war, through calm seas and violent nor'easters. It's a place where history feels incredibly close and tangible. While Portland Headlight may be the most famous, many other lighthouses along the coast are equally deserving of a visit. From the candy-striped tower of West Quoddy Headlight, the easternmost point in the United States, to the remote and rugged Pemaquid Point Light, each offers a unique window into Maine's maritime soul. Some are accessible by land, while others can only be viewed by boat, standing as lonely sentinels on offshore islands. Exploring these guiding lights is, honestly, a perfect way to tour the Maine coast, leading you to charming fishing villages and hidden coves you might otherwise miss. They really are the true jewels of the coastline. Maine's natural wonders are perfectly complemented by its charming coastal towns, which serve as welcoming gateways to the state's scenic beauty. Among the most beloved of these is Bar Harbor, nestled on the eastern side of Mount Desert Island. This vibrant town is the primary hub for visitors to Acadia National Park, offering a lively and convenient base for exploration. Its bustling downtown is filled with a delightful mix of unique shops, art galleries, and restaurants catering to, well, every taste. You can spend hours browsing for local crafts, enjoying fresh seafood on a waterfront patio, or just soaking in the energetic atmosphere of a classic New England summer resort town. Bar Harbor's setting is honestly spectacular. The town is wrapped around a beautiful deepwater harbor filled with everything from traditional lobster boats to magnificent multi-masted schooners and modern yachts. Taking a boat tour from here is a must-do activity. You can embark on a whale-watching excursion in search of humpbacks and finbacks, take a nature cruise to spot seals and puffins, or simply enjoy a scenic ride around the bay to see the coastline from a different perspective. At low tide, you can even walk across the exposed sandbar to the aptly named Bar Island, a simple pleasure that gives the town its name and offers a lovely view back toward the waterfront. Further down the coast lies another of Maine's quintessential seaside towns, Kennebunkport. This town exudes a more refined and stately charm, famous for its sandy beaches, historic sea captains' homes, and its association with the Bush family, who have a summer home here on Walker's Point. Kennebunkport is the kind of place where you can really relax and unwind. You can spend a day lounging on the soft sands of Goose Rocks Beach, browse the upscale boutiques and art galleries in Dock Square, or take a leisurely drive along Ocean Avenue to admire the stunning coastal mansions and the rock-strewn shoreline. Like Bar Harbor, Kennebunkport's identity is tied to the water. The Kennebunk River flows through the heart of the town, creating a picturesque harbor that is always a hub of activity. You can set sail on a historic schooner, go deep-sea fishing, or simply enjoy a world-famous lobster roll from one of the many clam shacks that line the riverfront. While Bar Harbor offers a direct line to the wildness of Acadia, Kennebunkport provides a more polished, classic New England coastal experience. Together, they represent the incredible diversity of Maine's seaside communities, each offering its own unique brand of charm and hospitality. For those who crave a truly wild and untamed adventure, the journey must lead north, deep into the heart of Maine's vast interior. Here, far from the bustling coast, lies Baxter State Park, a sprawling wilderness preserve encompassing over 200,000 acres of pristine forests, rugged mountains, and crystal-clear lakes. This is not a typical state park. It was a gift to the people of Maine from one of its most visionary former governors, Percival P. Baxter. His dream was to create a place that would be kept forever wild, a sanctuary for wildlife and a haven for those seeking a genuine backcountry experience, free from the comforts and distractions of modern life. Governor Baxter's vision is strictly upheld to this day, making a visit to the park a unique and immersive experience. The roads within the park are mostly unpaved and narrow, intentionally limiting the speed and volume of traffic to preserve the park's tranquil character. There is no electricity, running water, or cell service in most of the park. Accommodations are rustic, consisting of simple cabins, lean-tos, and campsites. This intentional lack of amenities is, honestly, the park's greatest strength. It encourages visitors to disconnect from technology and reconnect with nature on a much deeper level, fostering a spirit of self-reliance and a profound appreciation for the wilderness. The park is a paradise for hikers, campers, and wildlife enthusiasts. It contains over 220 miles of hiking trails that wind through dense forests, lead to secluded ponds, and ascend to the summits of more than 40 different mountains. The park is home to one of the largest populations of moose in the state, and sightings are common, especially around the many ponds and bogs at dawn and dusk. Black bears, white-tailed deer, and a vast array of bird species also thrive within this protected habitat. Canoeing or kayaking on one of the park's remote ponds is a truly magical experience, offering solitude and the chance to hear nothing but the call of a loon echoing across the water. Visiting Baxter State Park requires planning and preparation. Reservations for campsites and cabins are essential and often book up months in advance. Visitors must be prepared to pack in all their supplies and pack out all their trash, adhering to the principles of leave no trace. This is not a place for a casual afternoon drive-through. It is a destination for those who are willing to embrace the wilderness on its own terms. For those who do, the reward is an unforgettable adventure in one of the most magnificent and wild landscapes in the eastern United States, a true testament to one man's incredible foresight. At the very heart of Baxter State Park rises its magnificent centerpiece, the mountain that is the crown jewel of Maine, Mount Katahdin. Its name, given by the Penobscot Nation, means the greatest mountain, and it is a name that is, honestly, well-deserved. Standing at 5,269 feet, it is the tallest peak in the state, a formidable and awe-inspiring mass of granite that really dominates the northern landscape. Katahdin is not just a mountain. It is a place of immense spiritual significance for the Wabanaki people and, a legendary destination for hikers and adventurers from around the world. Its rugged, treeless summit and dramatic, glacier-carved cirques create a stunningly alpine environment rarely seen in the east. climbing Mount Katahdin is a serious undertaking, a strenuous and challenging day hike that should only be attempted by those who are physically prepared and properly equipped. There are several trails to the summit, each offering a different kind of challenge. The most famous and thrilling route is the Knife Edge, a narrow, serrated ridge that is less than a few feet wide in some places, with precipitous drops on either side. Crossing it is a heart-pounding experience that requires a good head for heights and steady nerves. Other routes, like the Hunt Trail and the Able Trail, are less exposed but still involve steep, rocky scrambles to reach the top. For thousands of hikers each year, reaching the summit of Katahdin represents the culmination of an epic journey. The mountain serves as the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail, the famous 2,200-mile footpath that stretches all the way from Georgia. For through hikers who have spent months walking north, touching the iconic sign on Baxter Peak is an emotional and triumphant moment, the final step of an incredible pilgrimage. The view from the top is breathtaking in every direction, a 360-degree panorama of the vast, unbroken wilderness of Baxter State Park and the endless lakes and forests of northern Maine. But the significance of Katahdin goes beyond its height or its role as a trail terminus. It is a place that commands respect and humility. The weather on the mountain is notoriously unpredictable and can change in an instant, with high winds, fog, and cold temperatures possible even in the middle of summer. The mountain reminds all who visit of the power and indifference of nature. It is a place that challenges you physically and mentally, but the rewards are, honestly, immeasurable. To stand on its summit is to feel a profound sense of accomplishment and a deep connection to the wild heart of Maine, a feeling that stays with you long after you have descended back into the woods below. Beyond the major attractions and wild landscapes, the true soul of Maine is often discovered in its enchanting small towns. These communities are the heartbeat of the state, each one feeling like a storybook come to life, with its own unique personality and charm. Take a drive along the coast and you will find Camden, a town often called the Jewel of the Coast. Here, a fleet of magnificent windjammer schooners fills a picturesque harbor that sits directly at the foot of Mount Batty. A short hike or drive to the summit of this small mountain provides one of Maine's most iconic views, a stunning panorama of the town, the harbor, and the island-studded expanse of Penobscot Bay. It is a place where the mountains truly meet the sea in the most dramatic fashion. Just a few miles down the coast, you will find the working waterfront town of Rockland. Once a gritty industrial hub known for its lime production, Rockland has transformed itself into a vibrant center for arts and culture, while still holding onto its authentic maritime character. It is home to the renowned Farnsworth Art Museum, which boasts an incredible collection of works by artists connected to Maine, including 3 generations of the Wyeth family. Rockland proudly calls itself the lobster capital of the world, a claim it celebrates with gusto every summer. It is a town that perfectly blends its hardworking heritage with a sophisticated appreciation for the arts, creating a dynamic and fascinating destination for visitors to explore. Further south, the town of Ogunquit captures yet another facet of Maine's artistic spirit. Its name, given by the Abenaki people, means beautiful place by the sea, and it more than lives up to it. Ogunquit is famous for its magnificent 3-mile stretch of soft white sand beach, a rarity on Maine's mostly rocky coast. For over a century, it has been a haven for artists, drawn by the incredible light and stunning coastal scenery. This legacy is celebrated at the Ogunquit Museum of American Art and in the numerous galleries that line the streets. A walk along the Marginal Way, a paved cliffside path, offers breathtaking ocean views and connects the main beach to the charmingly bustling fishing village of Perkins Cove. These towns, Camden, Rockland, and Ogunquit, are just a few examples of the magic that awaits in Maine's small communities. From the lakeside villages of the interior to the fishing harbors of the down east coast, each town offers a warm welcome and a distinct slice of Maine life. They are places where independent shops thrive, where locals greet you with a friendly smile, and where the pace of life encourages you to slow down and savor the moment. Exploring these storybook towns is an essential part of any journey through Maine, offering a deeper connection to the history, culture, and incredible beauty of the Pine Tree State. No journey to Maine is truly complete without indulging in its most famous culinary treasure, the lobster. This iconic crustacean is more than just a menu item. It is the symbol of the state's maritime culture and a cornerstone of its coastal economy. For generations, hard-working lobstermen and women have set out at dawn in their distinctive boats, hauling traps from the cold, clear waters of the Atlantic. This tradition is woven into the very fabric of coastal life, supporting entire communities and defining their relationship with the sea. To eat a Maine lobster is to taste the essence of the ocean and to participate in a ritual that is central to the state's identity. The classic way to enjoy this delicacy is steamed whole, served with a side of melted butter, a simple preparation that allows the sweet, succulent flavor of the meat to shine. However, the most beloved and accessible lobster creation is undoubtedly the lobster roll. This is Maine's signature sandwich, a masterpiece of simple perfection. It consists of generous chunks of fresh-picked lobster meat, typically tossed with just a touch of mayonnaise or warmed butter, and served in a top-split toasted hot dog bun. Every lobster shack and restaurant has its own subtle variation, sparking friendly debates among locals and visitors alike about who makes the absolute best roll in the state. Finding a great lobster meal is an adventure in itself. All along the coast, you will find rustic lobster shacks, often situated on working wharves with stunning ocean views. These are casual, no-frills establishments where you can enjoy your meal at a picnic table while watching the lobster boats come and go. Ordering a lobster in the rough at one of these spots is the quintessential Maine dining experience. It is about more than just the food. It is about the atmosphere, the salty air, and the direct connection to the source. You're eating lobster that was likely swimming in the ocean just hours earlier, a level of freshness that is simply unbeatable. Beyond the classic steamed lobster and lobster roll, creative chefs across the state are constantly finding new ways to showcase this versatile ingredient. You can find everything from creamy lobster mac and cheese and rich lobster bisque to innovative dishes like lobster-topped pizza, or even lobster-infused ice cream for the truly adventurous. Whether you prefer it simple or sophisticated, enjoying a lobster meal is a delicious way to connect with the heart and soul of Maine. It is a taste of tradition, a bite of the coast, and a memory you will savor long after your meal is finished. While lobster may be the king of Maine's culinary scene, the state's agricultural offerings are equally impressive, led by another small but mighty icon, the wild blueberry. These are not the large, cultivated blueberries you find in most grocery stores. Maine's wild blueberries are smaller, more intensely flavored, and packed with antioxidants. They grow naturally on barrens in the Down East and Mid-Coast regions, where they have been harvested for centuries. During the late summer harvest season, the fields turn a brilliant crimson, creating a stunning landscape. These tiny blue gems are a true taste of the Maine terroir, bursting with a flavor that is both sweet and tangy. The wild blueberry finds its way into countless beloved Maine treats. The most classic preparation is, of course, the blueberry pie. A slice of warm homemade blueberry pie, perhaps with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, is a taste of pure comfort and a staple in diners and home kitchens across the state. But the creativity does not stop there. You will find them in fluffy pancakes served with local maple syrup, in muffins, scones, and jams. They are used to make sauces for savory dishes and are even featured in local craft beers and wines. The wild blueberry is a versatile and celebrated ingredient that captures the sweet side of Maine's bounty. Beyond blueberries, Maine has a thriving farm-to-table movement that celebrates the incredible diversity of its agricultural landscape. The state is dotted with small, independent farms that produce a wide array of fresh and delicious products. From crisp apples and sweet corn in the fall to heirloom tomatoes and fresh greens in the summer, the emphasis is on local, seasonal eating. Many towns host vibrant farmers markets where you can meet the farmers, sample their products, and purchase everything from artisanal cheeses and freshly baked bread to organic vegetables and grass-fed meats. This direct connection between producer and consumer is a hallmark of Maine's food culture. This commitment to fresh local ingredients is embraced by chefs throughout the state. In cities like Portland, which has gained a national reputation as a top foodie destination, innovative restaurants are built around seasonal menus that highlight the best of what Maine's farms and waters have to offer. This farm-to-table ethos extends to cozy cafes and small-town eateries as well, where you can always find dishes that reflect the flavors of the current season. From the iconic potato fields of Aroostook County to the coastal oyster farms, Maine's culinary landscape is rich, diverse, and deeply connected to the land, offering a delicious journey of discovery for any food lover. Section 4. Celebrating Community Maine's Signature Festivals. Throughout the year, Maine's communities come together to celebrate their unique culture, heritage, and agricultural bounty through a wonderful array of festivals. These events are a fantastic way for visitors to experience the local character and spirit of the state firsthand. Perhaps the most famous of these is the Maine Lobster Festival, held every August in the city of Rockland. For 5 days, this waterfront festival pays homage to the state's most famous crustacean, with food, live music, cooking contests, and a grand parade. The highlight for many is the chance to feast on thousands of pounds of fresh lobster while enjoying the lively atmosphere and beautiful harbor views. In the fall, as the air turns crisp and the leaves begin to change color, thousands of people flock to the town of Unity for the Common Ground Country Fair. Organized by the Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association, this is not your typical country fair. It is a celebration of rural living, organic agriculture, and sustainable practices. You will not find any carnival rides or deep-fried Oreos here. Instead, you will discover demonstrations of traditional crafts like blacksmithing and spinning, livestock shows featuring heritage breeds, and a massive farmers market overflowing with organic produce. It is an inspiring and educational event that showcases Maine's deep commitment to the land. Maine's creative spirit is also on full display at its many art and cultural festivals. From the North Atlantic Blues Festival in Rockland to the maritime-themed events that take place in coastal towns all summer long, there is always something happening. In the winter, communities embrace the snow and ice with festivals like Camden's Winterfest and the U.S. National Toboggan Championships, a quirky and thrilling event that draws crowds to the Camden Snow Bowl. These events are not just for tourists. They are deeply ingrained in the local culture, providing a time for neighbors to gather, celebrate, and share their passions with visitors. Attending one of these festivals offers a unique window into the soul of Maine. It is a chance to interact with locals, learn about their traditions, and feel the strong sense of community that defines the state. Whether you are cracking open a lobster, learning about organic farming, or listening to live music by the sea, these events provide some of the most authentic and memorable experiences a visitor can have. They are a joyful expression of what makes Maine so special: its people, its connection to nature, and its vibrant, enduring culture. Plan your trip around one of these celebrations for a truly immersive journey. One of the most wonderful things about Maine is that it offers a unique and compelling reason to visit in every single season. This is not just a summer destination, it is a year-round playground for those who love the outdoors and appreciate the changing rhythms of nature. Summer, from June to August, is the most popular season, and for good reason. The days are long, warm, and sunny, perfect for hitting the beach, sailing on the ocean, or kayaking on a calm lake. It is the season of lobster rolls at picnic tables, bustling coastal towns, and lush green forests. Every corner of the state is alive with activity, from whale-watching tours to outdoor concerts and festivals, making it the ideal time for a classic family vacation. As the vibrant greens of summer give way to the crisp air of autumn, Maine undergoes a breathtaking transformation. From mid-September through October, the state puts on one of the most spectacular foliage displays in the country. The forests erupt in a symphony of brilliant reds, fiery oranges, and golden yellows, creating a painter's palette across the rolling hills and mountains. This is the perfect time for scenic drives, hiking beneath a canopy of color, and visiting apple orchards and pumpkin patches. The crowds of summer have thinned, lending a more peaceful and cozy atmosphere to the small towns. It is a season of apple cider donuts, warm sweaters, and unforgettable beauty. Winter in Maine is a season of quiet magic and rugged beauty. From December to March, a thick blanket of snow transforms the landscape into a peaceful wonderland. For those who embrace the cold, it is a paradise for outdoor adventure. You can ski or snowboard at resorts like Sugarloaf and Sunday River, cross-country ski or snowshoe on countless trails through silent snow-covered forests, or experience the thrill of snowmobiling across vast open landscapes. In the evenings, there is nothing better than cozying up by a crackling fireplace in a rustic lodge or cabin. Winter reveals a different side of Maine: serene, stark, and incredibly beautiful. When the snow finally melts, spring arrives with a sense of joyful renewal. From April to May, the state slowly awakens from its winter slumber. This is the season of mud and black flies, as locals will humorously tell you, but it is also a time of incredible life and energy. Waterfalls roar with the melting snow, the first spring wildflowers begin to peek through the forest floor, and the air is filled with the scent of damp earth and new beginnings. It is the season of Maine Maple Sunday, when sugar shacks open their doors for tours and tastings. Spring is a quieter, more intimate time to visit, offering a chance to witness the landscape coming back to life. Choosing the best time to visit Maine really depends on what you want to experience. For the quintessential coastal vacation with warm weather, swimming, and bustling towns, the peak season from late June to August is your best bet. This is when all attractions, restaurants, and shops are open and in full swing. However, this is also the most crowded and expensive time to visit. If you prefer pleasant weather with fewer crowds, consider the shoulder seasons. Early June can be lovely, with spring flowers still in bloom, while September offers warm days, cool nights, and the beginning of the fall foliage, creating a perfect balance for many travelers. For those whose primary goal is to witness the spectacular fall colors, the timing is crucial. The foliage season typically starts in the northernmost parts of the state in late September and gradually moves southward, peaking in southern Maine by mid to late October. This is an incredibly popular time, so it is essential to book accommodations and rental cars well in advance. If winter sports are your passion, plan your trip between January and March, when snow conditions are generally at their best. No matter when you decide to go, a little advanced planning will ensure you get the most out of your Maine adventure. Packing for a trip to Maine requires one key strategy: layers. The weather here can be famously unpredictable, and temperatures can vary significantly, even on the same day. A cool, foggy morning can quickly turn into a warm, sunny afternoon, followed by a breezy evening. Be sure to pack a mix of short and long-sleeve shirts, a fleece or a warm sweater, and a waterproof and windproof outer jacket. This will allow you to adapt comfortably to changing conditions, whether you are on a boat tour on the ocean or hiking in the mountains. Even in the middle of summer, a warm layer for the evenings is always a good idea. Beyond clothing, a few other items are essential for any Maine packing list. Comfortable, sturdy walking shoes are an absolute must, especially if you plan to explore the rocky coastline, cobblestone streets, or hiking trails. Hiking boots are recommended for any serious trail adventures. Do not forget to pack sunscreen, a hat, and sunglasses, as the sun can be strong, especially when you are out on the water. Insect repellent is also a wise addition, particularly for trips in the late spring and summer. Finally, bring your camera and a pair of binoculars. You will want them to capture the stunning landscapes and spot wildlife like moose, eagles, and whales. To make your Maine journey as smooth and enjoyable as possible, a few insider tips can go a long way. First, consider visiting during the shoulder season, the periods of late spring, like early June, or early fall in September. During these times, you will often find lower prices on accommodations and fewer crowds at popular attractions like Acadia National Park. The weather is typically still very pleasant, and you get to experience the state in a more relaxed and authentic way. It is a savvy traveler's secret to enjoying the best of Maine without the peak season rush, allowing for a more intimate and personal connection with the places you visit. Renting a car is highly recommended for exploring Maine. While cities like Portland are very walkable, the state's true treasures are spread out across its vast landscape. Having your own vehicle gives you the freedom and flexibility to discover hidden coves, charming small towns, and scenic back roads at your own pace. Be prepared for some rural driving, especially if you venture into the northern and western parts of the state where cell service can be spotty. It is always a good idea to download maps for offline use or to have a reliable physical map as a backup, just in case. Embrace the journey and enjoy the drive. When it comes to dining, do not be afraid to venture beyond the well-known restaurants. Some of the most memorable meals in Maine are found at unassuming roadside lobster shacks, local diners, and small-town cafes. This is where you will find authentic flavors and friendly local character. Make reservations in advance for popular restaurants, especially during the peak summer season in tourist towns like Bar Harbor and Kennebunkport. Also, take advantage of the many farmers markets to sample fresh local products and pack a picnic for one of your day trips. It is a delicious and affordable way to enjoy the state's bounty. Finally, the most important tip is to slow down and embrace the Maine vibe. This is not a place to be rushed. Build some flexibility into your itinerary to allow for spontaneous discoveries, a scenic overlook that invites you to stop, an antique shop that catches your eye, or a hiking trail that looks too beautiful to pass up. Chat with the locals. They are often your best source for recommendations and hidden gems. Maine's magic lies not just in its famous sights, but in the quiet moments in between. Allow yourself to relax, breathe in the fresh pine-scented air, and let the state's peaceful, unhurried rhythm guide your journey. As our journey through the Pine Tree State comes to a close, it becomes clear that Maine is so much more than just a place on a map. It is not simply a collection of beautiful sights or a list of attractions to check off a bucket list. Maine is, at its core, a feeling. It is the profound sense of peace that settles over you as you watch the sunrise from a misty mountain peak. It is the invigorating chill of the Atlantic air on your face as you stand before a historic lighthouse, watching the powerful waves crash against ancient granite cliffs. This feeling is a unique blend of wildness and tranquility, a sense of being connected to something timeless and real. It gets under your skin and into your soul. This feeling is woven from the threads of its rugged, untamed landscapes. It lives in the deep, silent woods where the scent of pine is a constant companion and the call of a loon echoes across a still lake. It is found in the raw power of its coastline, where the eternal rhythm of the tides shapes the land and the lives of those who call it home. This connection to the natural world is the essence of the Maine experience. It encourages you to slow down, to breathe more deeply, and to appreciate the simple, profound beauty that surrounds you. It is a powerful reminder of nature's ability to restore and inspire the human spirit. The feeling of Maine is also one of authenticity. It is found in the warm, genuine smiles of the people you meet in its small towns. It's in the taste of a lobster roll eaten at a picnic table on a working wharf, a simple meal that connects you directly to the sea and its traditions. This is a place that has not lost its character to the homogenizing forces of the modern world. It proudly holds on to its heritage, its independent spirit, and its down-to-earth charm. This authenticity is what makes a visit here feel so refreshing and meaningful, a true escape from the ordinary and a return to something genuine. Ultimately, Maine is a state that offers a sense of peaceful discovery. It is a place where you can lose yourself on a winding country road and find a hidden beach you have all to yourself. It is where you can climb a mountain and feel like you are on top of the world, with nothing but wilderness stretching out before you. This feeling of being both wonderfully lost and perfectly found is Maine's greatest gift. It is a wild, beautiful, and peaceful state that does not just show you its scenery, it invites you to become a part of it, leaving an indelible mark on your memory long after you depart. We have journeyed from its rocky shores to its towering mountains, delved into its rich history, and savored its unique flavors. We have seen how Maine is a land of incredible contrasts, both rugged and gentle, vast and intimate, steeped in tradition yet vibrant with new energy. It is a place where every season offers a new adventure and every small town has a story to tell. The beauty of Maine is that it can be whatever you need it to be: a thrilling outdoor playground, a peaceful retreat for quiet contemplation, a fascinating cultural journey, or a delicious culinary exploration. The possibilities are as endless as its forested horizons. Now, we encourage you to add Maine to your personal bucket list. Make it a priority to come and experience its magic for yourself. Come for the iconic views that you have seen in pictures, like the sunrise over Cadillac Mountain or the timeless beauty of Portland Headlight. But when you arrive, allow yourself to stay for the vibe. Stay for the unexpected moments of wonder. The surprise sighting of a moose by a quiet pond, the taste of a sun-ripened wild blueberry, or the friendly conversation with a local shopkeeper. Let this remarkable state surprise you with its depth and its charm. Whether you have a weekend or a whole summer to explore, Maine will welcome you with open arms and reward you with unforgettable memories. Pack your bags, bring your sense of adventure, and prepare to fall in love with its landscapes and its people. Hike its trails, paddle its waters, explore its towns, and taste its bounty. Let the rhythm of the tides and the whisper of the pines guide your journey. This is not just another trip. It is an opportunity to connect with a place that feels both wonderfully wild and incredibly welcoming, a destination that truly nourishes the soul. So, what are you waiting for? Your own Maine story is waiting to be written. The rocky coast is calling, the mountains are waiting to be climbed, and the lobster rolls are ready to be devoured. It is time to stop dreaming about it and start planning your visit. Come and discover why this corner of New England has captured the hearts of so many travelers for so many generations. Come and find your own special feeling in the wild, peaceful, and beautiful state of Maine. Your adventure begins now, and it is one you will never forget.